How's it going, YouTube? I trust you're all well. So I just wanted to do a real quick video. I've just purchased this wonderful little machine here, this Akai MPC Studio. I've had it for, it'll be a week tomorrow. So it's the 24th of October. And I've picked it up, it came last Tuesday. And I spent this week, especially this weekend, just getting over the learning curve and learning how to use this thing properly. And I just thought, you know what, I want to document my journey. So I'm going to do a quick video of what I've learned so far. There's so much to learn about this, but I'm just going to take you through a process of sampling, chopping, and trying to make something. So I've just pulled up a sample off YouTube. I've just done a quick search. I found some blaxploitation film scores, and I just found this one. You know what? I'm going to chop this thing up and see what I can do with it. So let's have a quick listen to the sample. Now, I could use that part. There's so much in there that caught my ear, but then I like this part as well. I like that part. So, as you can hear, if you're watching this, you're obviously interested in production and sampling. There's a lot in there. Now, I don't know whether anyone's used that before. I don't know, but I've captured that part. Let me just flick to MPC. So, what I have done, I've already sampled the section just to kind of save time. But if you're going to sample that, all you do is double tap sample edit. Quick thing I learned real quick was usually you would use the shift button to access a lot of the other menu functions, but what you can do is, rather than pressing shift and sample edit to access sample record, you can just double tap any of those buttons and it acts as though you've pressed shift. So you can literally, so program mix, if I wanted to access track mix, I would press shift and track mix. Shift and program mix, but I can just double tap that real quick and it opens up the track mix. And the same with sample edit. If I press shift and sample edit, it goes to sample mode. It goes to sample record. But if I just wanted to go to it real quick without pressing shift, if I double tap it, it opens up the sample record option. So that was a quick little shortcut that I found really useful. So anyway, I've already recorded the sample, pulled it off YouTube. If you don't know how to record samples off YouTube, there's another video from a guy that I watched on YouTube. He shows you how to do that. But I might do another video actually about how to do that. Anyway, let's get to it. So, sample edit. Here's a sample. So I kind of know which part I want to use already. Now, what I like about this is the options you get to chop. I like this. So you can either go to threshold, which adds a chop at each threshold point, so you can see chopped it up automatically. Now, I'm an old school MPC 2000 user. I had an MPC 2000 back in 1997, almost 20 years ago. And I would have had to have done each one of those chops individually. I would have had to scroll through, chop, 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 chop. This thing just does it all for you. So you've got the threshold option, then you've got the region option, which you can select how many regions you want it. So at the moment it's chopped up into 16 regions. I can change that to whatever, 8 or 32. So at the moment it's in 16 regions. With that, it doesn't necessarily determine where the regions are going to be based on the sample. It just chops it into equal regions. So it's useful, but I wouldn't necessarily use that. Then you've got BPM. I haven't really messed with that. What I do like is the manual. Now this, to me, I really like this. And basically what it does, let me remove all these chops. You see these chops in here? If you want to get rid of them, you just press minus all and it gets rid of them. So let's go from the top. What I like about the manual section is it places the chops where you hit the pads and it automatically puts them on the pads. Now to me, that is such a time saver. So watch this. Here we go. You'll see me hitting the pads and it's going to chop the sample and place the chop on that pad. So let's go. Bam, done. So if I go, and it automatically changed the pad bank as well. So once I got to that top pad in bank A, it automatically changed it and started putting them in pad bank B. Time saver, massive time saver. So if I flick back now to pad bank A, and you can hear. So it's automatically laid them onto the pads for me. What I will end up eventually doing, in fact I'll do it now, is going in and tidying some of those up, because it's hit them, it's placed them or chopped them where I've hit the pad, and I didn't actually hit it bang on every single time. So what I will do is I'll zoom in. You'll notice as well, I keep flicking between the mouse and the screen and the actual machine. I'm still getting used to using the hardware again. So yeah, let me tidy these up anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the start points. So that one's fine. So see, I'm using these Q-Link switches here. YouTube if this is a little bit repetitive. If you're watching this, you're obviously interested in this part. So you know the drill. Okay, so those are tidied up. So this is something that confused me initially, and it was okay, I've chopped all these up. To me, they're all on the pads. They're all here. Done. Job's done. And then what I've done, I went over to the main menu and wanted to start producing. And I was like, where are my samples gone? What's happened? And then I realized you've got to actually go back to sample edit and get the chops from edit point and assign it to a new program. And then I remembered, oh yeah, on the MPC I had to create programs. So it's all right having the samples here, but now I need to create a program. So you've got a few options here. I'm not going to go through all the options. I just want to get through this. But you've got a number of options. And the one I use is a non-destructive convert to a new program, which is this here. And what that does is going to take all those chops and create a new program. And when it says non-destructive, it means it's not going to trouble the sample. It's not going to mess up your sample or chop it to pieces. It's going to leave the sample as it is and create a new program based on the chops you've created. So, bam, I'm going to hit that. I'm going to press do it. And then you'll see over here in this little window, I've now got this new program here. So now when I go back to the main window, I've got a track here. I've got track 1. I'm just going to call this main hook. And where it's got program at the moment, it says 001. That's just default. And then it's got drum type. What I'm going to do is grab this program which I've just created and drag it over onto these pads. Spram. And what it's done, it's laid out. It's laid out the samples on the pads for me. So that's done. And again, for me, in terms of workflow, that is a huge time saver. That was one thing when I was chopping up samples before, it was so time consuming, where, you know, now it's like, let's just get down to the production. It's done. So what I usually do is, just to get a feel for the track and just to get a bit of a vibe, I usually just recreate the actual track that I've just sampled. And again, it helps me to get a tempo and just to get a bit of a working bass. Let's go. Do. Rolling, what I would probably do is use the time correction. So I'd hit the time correction button on here and press do it, and I'll just tighten things up there. What you can also do is select what you want to select. So the pencil obviously is to draw notes on here. You can use the select function, or you can press Command and A on your keyboard if you're using a Mac. And then do your correction again, just to make sure it corrects all the notes. So you can hear that one's off slightly. It's because this one is cut. The chop isn't quite right. And that's the one that landed kind of off the bar. So what I'm going to do is jump into sample edit and just tidy that up a bit. So I've got a feeling. Let's zoom in. Now you can see that snare needs to move in a bit more. So, and then that one's slightly off as well. So I just want to fine tune it really. So that might actually be there. Let's have a look. Let's try this. So back to main window. And let's do the same. That one. Let's jump back into sample edit. And then let's tighten that one up slightly. Okay, jump back out. So what I'm doing here really is using the basic loop to tighten up the sample. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the second lot of bars now. I mean, usually I would just play the whole thing together, but I missed it. I'm going to put it in 2 bars. I'm going to use overdub. Here we go. So I'll just use overdub then to kind of drop in. So you can hear there, it's not as tight as it could be. Again, it's just the samples need fine tuning. So again, let's jump back into sample edit. Tighten this up a little bit. That one's fine. That one needs tightening up. So what I'm doing is just moving it closer to the start of the kick, or the start point. Yeah, them ones are good. Good. Tighten that up a bit. While I'm there, let's do these ones. Yeah. I can hear an intro. You hear that? That sounds like an intro already. Okay, so back to the main screen. And while I'm here, what I'll do, again, it's just precautionary as well. All I do this most times, Command and All, just to select all the notes, and I'll just do a quick time correction, just to make sure everything's tight. Sample edits. Let's see what's going on here. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Okay, yeah, you can see there it is. Let's move that one in a bit. Okay, so real basic, nothing fancy, nothing too experimental, nothing too creative. I've just rolled the sample again, and again, like I said, I just do that just to get a bit of a feel for the sample. Once I've got that, what I'd start then doing is just messing about with the pads and seeing what I can find. So I would just that's usually what someone would play, you know, they just roll the second part. So it's just finding something. See, a lot of people don't record this side of things, you know, but most producers would sit down for hours and just see what they could find. You know, it's about trying to hear certain points, what works together. You've got so many variations you could do with these pads. You know, you could run there's so many different things. There's different variations you could do, and a lot of people don't show that this is the creative process. Sometimes it just comes like that. There's other times where you're going to be sitting here and you might find something by mistake. You might just and hear something. It's accidental. Sit here for hours doing this. Mess about with it. So let's try and record something. Let's see. So I'll delete this, get rid of that, and just throw something in here. So let's see. We've got 4 bars. Let's see what we can do. Usually the case. You get it rolling while you're rehearsing. As soon as you come to record it, bam, you flop. So you can see where that could go. You know, could just put some drums on that, throw a little sub bass in there, and then just start messing about with the sequence. I mean, that's 4 bars, and it's already, you know, quite action packed, quite moving. You know, it's moving quite a bit. And that's kind of what I like to create. I like to create something that's, like I said, quite action-packed and isn't just a straightforward loop. There's a lot more we could do with that. But I just wanted to, like I said, just kind of show you the basic process of getting a sample in, getting it chopped up, getting it laid down on the pads, and then just start recording. One quick tip, which I've found I was making mistakes, was every time you load a new track, it basically puts the program by default. Now I've just used this program on another track. Now if I start playing this, the way it's set up, it will automatically cut out the samples. So watch this. Because it's set up to automatically cut off the sample when it plays. So you'll hear in this program, if I hit that one, it plays for the length of the sample. But then if I hit another pad, it'll cut it off. So then if I play that in another track, or try to play another track, it overrides the sample. So what I found I had to do, if I wanted to use other sounds out of that program, I'd have to create a new program, which is pretty straightforward, and it's something that I like about this. Initially I was like, what is going on? I've got a new track, why is it affecting the other track? What you have to do is create a new program. You can have multiple programs going in the sequence or in this program at one time, or in this project at one time. I wasn't used to that. Obviously I was an old school MPC user, and from what I can remember, you could only have one program running at one time. So all your sounds were in that one program. You'd play your sequence, where in this, you can have multiple programs all running at the same time. So I can just add a new program here. You'll see it's got program 2. I could drag those same those same chops to that new program, and it will create another version of it. So I could go to new program again, pull out them same chops, and you'll see it's created a second variation of it. And again, I could just go to drop that on the pads, and it's going to give me the same samples, and when I play that, it won't affect the other track. So you can hear the other one still playing underneath, and then that one doesn't interfere with it. So let's say you wanted to, if I wanted to filter that out and use it as like a bass line, if I wanted to get rid of the bottom end, the low frequencies, and try and pull out some of the riffs and whatever in the top, I can do that, and it won't affect the original pattern. That was one thing that, again, I was like, what is going on? It was a bit of a learning curve I had to overcome. Again, all these tabs up here, there's so many different things we can play with. But like I said, in this video, I just wanted to kind of take you through the real basics. I've been having fun with this. I enjoy the process of finding something, listening to it, chopping it up, and then making my own variation of it. So if you've enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave me some comments below. Let me know, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I have watched a number of videos which I've found really useful. So I just want to share my learning with you guys. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully there's something I've helped you to overcome. I'll probably do a few more of these videos as I'm learning more about the software. So hopefully you found it useful, and hopefully we will connect again. All the best, God bless, and take care.